Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome into a quick daily read for Saturday. I hope life has been treating you well. But I do feel like this is going to be a very changing kind of day where you're feeling as if it's a continuation or a sparking of a soul evolution of yours in one, if not multiple ways. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a focus on change within, say, a work situation, maybe your business. It doesn't have to be just one aspect or situation within your world, but it does feel like there is a focus on structure to an extent, and maybe the lack thereof which. People seem to expect the worst of you at certain points, and that's going to need to be put to rest, even if it has to come to be due to the spiritual realm in one, if not multiple ways. But there are certain people that expect the best from you, and they're going to be highlighted as truly worthy souls, okay? Great energy, or at least their energy might vary, from good to bad, or just, maybe even in the middle. But they're a soul who expects the best from you, and they're obviously smarter than some other people, right? And potentially, a nicer soul all the meanwhile. But you're quite motivated to climb the stairs towards more, or climb the ladder, or however you want to look at the imagery. I was just guided to look at the stairs here. That's why that came to be. But it feels like there is growth. Okay, there's motivation, there's time to rest, but there's time to accomplish. And we need to recognize when not to force the opposite to come to be. Say when you're meant to have a bit of time to rest, regardless of when and how that comes to be throughout this period. Don't force yourself to start accomplishing just to fill up space, or just to feel ahead of things, right? Or to catch up. The time will come when you need to get back to accomplishing, or get to it in general. And same, goes vice versa. When it's time to accomplish, don't snap into or fall into that lazy or complacent vibe. And I get it, if you're overly tired or burnt out, but you need to, or affected by things is what I'm getting, but we need to stick with what is feeling relevant, or more so aligned with that moment. I hope that makes sense. There's a place and a time for everything. They're also reminding you throughout this day, please don't overshare. Okay, please keep your mouth closed, meaning this in the best light, when there's an untrustworthy snake in your midst, or somebody who just doesn't at least partially have your back. As well, like when it comes to people with loose lips. But the King of Swords, I feel like it's a day where you're being viewed as wise. Maybe a very mature soul for your age, but at the very least, I feel like you have at least partially an old soul, if not fully, okay? And that's being seen and noticed and maybe even appreciated. Now, I feel like they're showing me this mandala. Like a mandala, I feel like you're growing and developing, and you may even see this being represented and shown to other people, or at the very least to yourself, when it comes to a business, a project, a job, a hobby maybe. But I feel like you're going to feel peace at certain points throughout this week when others don't feel it. And this may help them. It may even help a situation energy-wise and productivity-wise. But as I do twitch a bit, I feel like that might happen to you at a certain point or two throughout the day, and you need to just surpass it, okay? Leave it behind. Don't question it, because it doesn't feel like it was your doing, right? Spiritually affected, or maybe energy affected you. But moving on forward with the reading, we have the Eight of Pentacles. It does feel like a time of, vibrating, or more so electrifying success, okay? A time where you were glowing to an extent, if not fully, and people are noticing this. What you do throughout this day, when you do find yourself in moments of necessary or wanted accomplishments, development, creation, on frickin' point. You do what you do, and you do it well. There's going to be a moment or two as well where you feel very locked into someone's eyes, right? That eye contact. It's like, are we having a staring contest? I probably will lose, but the point is I can't look away. It feels like this is a moment of healing for one, if not both of you. Or maybe where Spirit's just pushing you guys to reconnect or connect more so. Okay. That can feel quite forced and just a bit too much. But there are also going to be select moments where you choose to, or just naturally don't end up making eye contact with certain people, or one person in particular. And this is protection, right? Maybe your energy is protecting you, or Spirit's protecting you, or just you intuitively feel it's not going to help me, right? Maybe I'll pick up on their energy more in general, or I'll look into their soul of darkness. Okay. Or partial darkness is what I'm getting. But it does feel like these two are coinciding quite nicely, intertwining. in the sense of you putting your knowledge and experience to use in very effective ways. And people are noticing this. People are impressed, even if they don't want to be, even if they don't want to mention it, give you the accolades you deserve. Give them to yourself, as I do feel like other people naturally will be giving you those accolades for what you've accomplished and what you're continuing to do as well. But it also feels like you are feeling a little bit limited, trapped. It could be financial, it could be because you're at that job, it could be who you're communicating with in the moment. It does feel like you need to remember at times what's meant to be temporary is going to be temporary. Everything has its place and its time, even if it's meant to go the distance, but it feels like naturally this isn't speaking upon something of that sort. I also want to say that you do have certain noisy levels of energy around you. It could be spiritual and or in your waking physical reality. You know, other people or maybe even animals, stuff like that. Okay, a TV for some, but noises are feeling very enhanced for whatever reason. The Magician and the Four of Wands, I feel like in the midst of feeling like a wounded warrior to an extent, if not fully, potentially very burnt out for some, you are manifesting what feels like musical success, okay? Kind of like music to your ears. It could be more so just in general, things falling into place. In somebody's trying to reconnect with somebody of importance, you could be that person of importance, or it could be you trying to reconnect with somebody else. This message isn't for everybody, if I can even say it. It's not for everybody. But they're saying that this is going to come to be if it's meant to. So trust that. I also want to tell you that you are quite protected being drawn to this reading, even in the midst of what feels like a lack of protection, okay? It comes and it goes, and it varies in form and how it's applied and utilized to your advantage. The Six of Wands, it does feel like a period for you where you can't help but feel attention coming to be, even when it's unwanted, but you can't help but feel like you're doing things quite amazingly and efficiently to the point of more attention potentially, but victory overall. And it's deserved because I feel like you've been through a lot in your life. And I do feel like you're being viewed as a changing soul of true comfort and triumph is what I'm getting. I feel like there's a lot less for you to be concerned about than you concern yourself with at times, but there's more to accomplish than meets the eye, and it's important that you know that not being one with all that you need to accomplish moving forward in the moment is strategic, okay? It's important because you would get overwhelmed or you would overly think about or focus upon all that's still left when you need to be in the present moment and focus upon creatively or just strategically and effortlessly even accomplishing whatever is at hand in that moment. I hope that made sense. But to get ready to wrap up this reading, it does feel like a very positive, hardworking, but balanced day for you, where you need to remember the magic in your world and the magic that lies within. Beautiful reading. So it was truly helpful. I look forward to the next chat.